Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the ninth and the second to last race of Season 1 in the Esports division. We're here for the USA Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas. My name is Anila Phoenix One. I'll be taking you through tonight's action, and I'm joined by Phantom Fox. Welcome.
Hello, my second time doing the esports commentary, so let's hope for an equally good race as we had at Brazil when I last did it.
Yeah, Brazil was a very good one, I must say. So, Brazil?
Did I say Brazil? I meant Belgium.
I was gonna say, we have not done Brazil. That's next week.
I meant Belgium if I said Brazil.
Maybe I misheard
Maybe
you.
two
I was
difference.
posting the stream in the server chat.
Oh well, I meant Belgium. Yeah, I remember watching like four wide through a Rouge with like 2 laps to go, so that was madness.
Yeah. As you can see, we've got only 14 drivers in for qualifying at the moment. That's because Evolution Racing have got 2 qualifying bans, R7 have got 1 qualifying ban, and Legacy Racing have got 1 qualifying ban. So with that, we'd already be down to 16. And then Legacy Racing actually had the driver who was supposed to be racing today. Legacy Racing actually have a race ban, sorry. So they were only going to be with 1 driver even after qualifying. And then it was going to be Toby who's racing for them, but he's had to drop out quite late due to a personal emergency. So Legacy Racing are actually without anyone for today's race. And then Velox are with only 1 driver at the minute, since Hugo Tab was the only one who's actually ended up joining the lobby. Isma 08 Celtics, nowhere to be seen. We pinged him a few times, but he's not turned up. So yeah, we will just skip Q1, go straight on to Q2, and save ourselves about 20 minutes.
Nah, Herman fancies a lap here. Gonna get some practice in.
Is he AFK? That'd be quite annoying.
You can message him through Analyze,
Yeah,
maybe.
I've just pinged him. I hope I hope he's not AFK. What I could do is mute the stream for a couple of seconds and just join the engineer chat, tell him to retire.
Yeah, if it's another minute, then you might as well. Is this race set to dry or is it dynamic?
It's dynamic, so could be raining, could be dry. I've not seen any crying about rain, so at least the qualifying should be dry.
Yeah, but we have the lobby reset, so they wouldn't
Yeah,
be
so we
crying about
won't
it
know for the
anyway.
race until we actually go in. Yeah, I'm gonna quickly
Sorry,
join our
yeah.
engineer chat and just see if he's even uh here right now. If he isn't, that's a problem. So yeah, I'll be back in a couple minutes. Or in, well, about 15 seconds more like probably. Ah, perfect timing. I literally just joined to ask Herman to retire. Never mind. Goodbye guys, good luck. Right, we're back and into Q2 now. So now the qualifying can get underway properly, of course. The top 10 moving on to Q3. We all know the qualifying system of Formula 1 by now, I'm sure. But just in case anyone who is, I don't know, somehow found their way onto a league racing stream without knowing how qualifying works in F1, needs an explanation. There you have it. Oh, and Christian Lubinov with a disconnect. I'm gonna invite him back in. It's worth mentioning that for the first time this season I'm the lobby host. Usually I don't like to host as a spectator, since it does cause a couple of glitches in only F1 games sometimes if you're unlucky. But no driver offered to host, so had to do it. No one else available. Yeah. Actually, Herman retired like a second before I joined the Discord chat.
I know. Oh, isn't it? You left the party as.
Yeah, he retired before I actually loaded in. But we can get going now at least. That of course means that every single driver still has well, probably 4 softs available, I would hope. They've all picked softer tire allocation. They have a reset anyway, so of course the tires they use now don't matter for the race. They will have fresh ones either way. So that means that everybody can do 2 runs on a fresh set in each session now. We can open, yeah, the tire graphing, of course, everybody is gonna be on the softs. Didn't expect to see any mediums. Although technically they, of course, have that option. And the first driver starting a lap is gonna be Wards, driving for HRT. And of course there is still a, well, the title for the fight for P1 at least, is decided. With NLR having mathematically sealed the championship last week at Mexico. And that was before the steward support, and with the steward support as well, we moved up even further, with both Teke and Axel having their 10-second penalties removed. I think it's a 2-5 in the end, if I remember correctly. So that's quite a good result for us to seal the championship, and but we do still have a massive scrap over P2, with every single team, basically, apart from NLR. If we have a quick look at the standings, there is a gap of 51 points to be exact, from P2, Hyper Racing Team, to P7, which is IRT Esports. And in between that is Sierra, EVR, AMR, GT10, and yeah, so that's... And even after that's pretty close still, it's only another 30 points to Velox and Legacy Racing. And then RS7 Esports, who joined halfway through the season, only about 50 points off that as well. So yeah, I would say RS7 are really the only ones who are not within a realistic chance of still finishing P2. I'm not even sure if they have a mathematical chance, to be honest. Of course, they have had it way less races than everybody else. I think they joined for Belgium. So it makes sense that they would finish last in the championship, having had, I think, 4 races, if you include this one and the next one. And here comes AMS Wards around the final corner.
Invite,
Did Christian ask another invite?
he's asking for an invite in Discord.
Yep, I'll send him another one. I think I sent him one a minute ago, but if it didn't go through, might as well just try again.
And I might leave the party and rejoin because you're not lagging for me, and you weren't lagging the first party, so...
That's not great. Quite a few lap times coming in already there, top 8. All these lap times. Kiki currently the fastest by quite a margin there as well, with a 30.548. He's got half a second to AMS Wards in second place. But after that, it's pretty good. Kiki's gap to P2 is bigger than the gap from P2 to last right now. Oh, Lars! AMR Lars with a massive mistake in the S section. Lap firmly ruined. He's gonna have to try again. Well, he's out of Finos Worlds. He's gonna have to walk in the pit lane, get a new set of tires, refuel, and then try again. But for the moment, the pace setter very clearly GT10 Kiki with a 30.548. After that, though, it's very close. The 2 HRT drivers separated by almost nothing, 31.035, 31.062. I think at the moment we don't actually have anyone on a push lap. NL11 is going to be the next one, as he's just come out the pit lane. So fairly quiet start to Q2. I think I actually missed like every single lap while I was inviting Christian, and now we've got the quiet. And it started raining! It has started to rain!
Oh my
I was not... I had no idea it was going to rain. No one told us.
It's great, yeah. I didn't expect that.
And that makes a mistake for
Because
AMLRs a lot more, yeah, significant, because now with the rain coming down, the top 8 might be pretty much locked in. Everybody else fighting over 9th and 10th to get into Q3. I can't really see the top 8 being knocked out. And 11, of course, is gonna have the driest tracks of those still coming out. Our 7 James is still in the pit lane. AMR Lars is still in the pit lane. Those two are gonna have quite a wet track by the time they actually get around to starting a lap. And Christian's disconnect has also really hurt him here. He's just coming down the back straight. The rain is getting pretty intense. Of course, nowhere near intermediate conditions, but certainly enough that the lap times for the top 8 are like unachievable for everybody else. And here goes NL11, starting his first and probably only flying lap in Q2. The rain will only get worse from here, I would imagine. And that means this is his one and only chance to get a competitive lap time in that will get him into Q3. And you've got 6 drivers, Jesus I can't count, fighting over 2 spots. P9 and P10. That's all there's left on offer with the rain coming down here. Unless the rain stops again, but even then the track is still going to be greasy for a while. 25.4 first sector. Let's quickly compare that to Kiki. Yeah, that's 7/10 off in the first sector alone. 11 with a massive moment. Does save it though. Certainly costing some time, I would imagine though. Herman goes fully off at turn 1 there. Christian has invalidated.
Christian's invalidated. That's bad, that's the time. He didn't need that.
We've got James and Lars out the pit lane as well. And 11 breaking close to 100 meter board. Gets the car stopped somehow. But you can tell he's struggling for traction. The rain coming down pretty heavily for a slick compound. And into what should be a flat out right-hander, let's see. Does he have to lift? Whoa! Maybe he should have. All over the place. And that might be an invalidation. He's gotten away with it. The game...
just about...
Yeah, he's definitely lost time there, so that's why he's gotten away with it. That's fair enough. And over the line, a 35.7. Obviously miles off the pace for the top guys. The top 8 right now. But that's not who he's trying to beat. Odinotok's coming over the line. Is he going to be faster than 11? I don't think so. He's quite a way off Levin, and the rain is coming down heavier and heavier. I think Levin could be safe here. We've got Christian with an invalidated lap coming up to the line. Herman, he made a mistake on his lap. He's not going to beat Odinotok. I think we might already have our top 10. Because the rain is getting closer and closer to intermediate conditions. Levin's and Odinotok's lap times are also going to be unbeatable for the bottom 4 now. James is currently on a hot lap. 106.2 middle sector. But I can't see him beating a 36.4. He's going to lose way more than 5 seconds over a lap distance. Just look at how much he's struggling for traction.
Odinotok's the same as Levin around the triple right.
Whoa, and James is round.
In a way, but...
Took a very shallow line coming into the flat out right-hander, and he retires from the session as well. Completely gives up. AMR Lars is coming around as well on a lap. And yeah, I think this is it. Herman, James, Christian and Lars are going to be out in Q2 here. They have not put a lap time in yet. And the rain is too heavy for them to even think about beating a 36.4 that Odintok just said. So in the end, all you needed to do really was get a valid lap in. With the rain coming down.
I'm surprised when they're just up, because there's a big difference starting 14th and starting 11th. I mean, surely you would have wanted to at least get those 3 extra places on the starting grid.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we've got AMR Lars and Herman Polniakov battling over P11 and 12. Christian retires in the pit as well, I think.
Oh,
Lars with an invalidation there.
Can invalidate.
Dinotok's back into the pit lane. Dia is now disabled. We're officially in wet conditions here.
Oh, Lars into the ball. Same place as James.
And that's on a slow lap there, as he already invalidated, so he was just, on a cooldown lap. Kiki's coming back onto the track on intermediate, so he's gonna get some practice in, basically. Get used to the conditions. Since Q3, of course, we would assume is gonna be the same. Lars starting another lap now. But on these soft tires, in conditions where DRS has already been turned off, he's gonna struggle quite a bit. He's all over the place here, yeah. So many corrections. Christian leaving the session as well. He's gonna use the next, I don't know, 15 minutes to get some practice in, I suppose. And yeah, Lars, I mean, he's at like 25% throttle and the rear is just going everywhere.
Yeah, he'll do a good job just to get a better back on this lap. Not invalidate, not spin, just get a time on the board.
Herman Poliakov starting his lap as well now. Because for the two of them it is pretty much a lost fight. They are just not going to be anywhere near the top 10. They are simply fighting each other over P11. And honestly, seeing Lars drive, I'm fairly certain that if Herman gets a valid lap in, it will be faster than whatever Lars is about to do.
Well, the game is just Lars at a purple middle sector, which
I highly doubt that, I can't lie. I mean, if he goes purple in these conditions on these tires, that's actually very impressive. Oh, he's fully drifting.
Oh, look at the drift.
Oh.
Look at it. Fair play. 2 more corners. Oh, he's
into the last corner, he crawls. Over the line, that's a 152.69, only 16 seconds away from Martino Jux and P10. He's almost made it. Obviously, Herman.
You get the 100% rule back out.
Yeah, actually, yeah, true. Going by that, I think right now, would Martino Jux even make it? I'm not sure. And we might only have 8 cars if we go by that rule. I can't lie.
Oh well.
So, Herman Poliakov almost fully flat there, but also a lot of corrections he has to do. So yeah, he is going to be firmly in P11 with this lap. Miles off Ordinatux and miles ahead of Lars. Over the line, that's going to be a 141.896. And we've got our order in Q2. Herman, Lars, Christian and James.
For the second session in a row, we are waiting for Herman. He's the last one that hasn't retired. He's doing a lap with a look at it. Get him to practicing.
I'm not sure what he's practicing for. I mean, I suppose if maybe the race is wet, this will be useful, but...
Could throwing up a surprising qualifying. Clearly half the jobs to this car. You could argue maybe the top 8 saw it possibly and got out quick. And obviously Christian with the disconnect didn't help him, but clearly 7 was completely caught out by this change in weather. They paid the price. Lars, Christian, James, Herman have paid the price.
While we're here, I'm going to quickly do the randomizer for the qualifying bands that we have to decide when they will start. If Isma makes it, he'll be 15th, but I'm going to assume he doesn't. If he does make it, just assume everybody's moving down one place. So we've got the following drivers. I forgot, I've closed Discord. The drivers serving qualifying bands are CS Oinek for RS7, Kevin Zunneberg and Maffio for EVR. Yeah, that's it. Legacy Racing has a race band, so just those 3 I have to randomize.
Can you see the Q2 is because I can't. I'm just getting a black screen.
Yeah, same. Oh, now I've had them for about 3 seconds, not even. Right, so
I still haven't got them.
the first driver of the ones with qualifying bans, I'll just put them all in one list. No repeats, there we go. And whoever comes up first starts first. CS Oilek is going to start in 15th. Well, first of the ones with qualifying bans. We'll see which of the guys who did not drive for qualifying, who weren't serving qualifying bans. TT and Jules for Legacy Racing. And Velox, Ismawe, Celtics. If they join, they'll be ahead of the guys with qualifying bans. Then Kevin Zunneberg starting in second position of the ones for qualifying bans. And in last place, Mafio.
Well, the things continue to come down here. We have definitely into conditions for Q3. 2 Saubers are out, followed by NLR 11. They have learned from Q2 and are not taking any chances with the weather getting worse. They want to get this lap in as soon as possible. We'll see if it actually gets wetter throughout the session. This first lap, once again, could be crucial if it gets heavier and heavier. The rain could stabilise. And we'll have a competitive session throughout. We don't know.
I think the track will get faster throughout, looking at the amount of rain we have right now, because the rain can't really get that much heavier on this game. Well, it can, but it very rarely gets any heavier than this. And the dry line is going to start forming about halfway through, or a bit early, like after the first lap, basically. Once everyone has gone around once, we'll see just like a dry line start to form, and then people will get quite a bit quicker. So yeah, I do think we are going to see the best grip towards the end of the session. So unlike Q2, this one is going to stay, hopefully, exciting the whole way through.
Ooh, it's a big snap there just on his outlap. The final corner to start his flying lap. And a big slide out the final corner as he gets the power down. Heads uphill into turn 1. I like this turn 1 to be fair. Pretty unique. Tight corner. You can go around the inside, on the outside. Pretty chaotic for a while. With a tight inside line. Turn 2. Keeps it between the white lines through the S's very nicely. And a perfect with the sector, obviously, because he's the first car on track.
You can see him hacking the steering wheel quite a bit, he's just searching for that grip everywhere. Brakes at the 100-meter board. Coming out from the back straight. Has to correct since he turned in too early.
Correct, yeah.
See, that's the issue with this aggressive turning style you see a lot of drivers do in this game. It's quite easy to just turn a little bit too much, and then you have to counter-steer while you're turning into the corner, and that costs you quite a bit of time. Of course, when it works out nicely, then you gain loads of time. 108.3 middle sector, that's strictly compared to Sapphire behind him. 8.4, then 11. 7.6. 11 is significantly faster than those guys right now, the two HRT drivers. Hugo. 8.5. Then we have Kiki. 8.7. 11 is on a really good lap if you look at all of these sector times. We've got Ward coming up to the line here. And the first lap of Q3 is going to be a 1:42.783. His teammate right behind him. And he is going to stick behind him, 43.124. And then we've got 11 with a 41.860, 9/10 clear at the top of the timing sheet right now. The two AMR drivers, HRT drivers, quite some way behind. Kiki going 5th fastest with a 43.3. Odinotux beating him, then Duncan beating him. We've got Racing Nomia actually for AMR this time around, coming into the final corner. And he puts in a 1:43.062. Third fastest, Kenny over the line. 44.01 1. And the last one still going is Geekin for Sierra. Unless people are doing 2 laps in a row, which I don't think anyone would be doing. We simply don't have enough EIS. And Geekin with a corner cut on the second class corner. He's not gonna have EIS for the next lap either. So he's gonna have to do a full, slow lap basically. And then try again. Or maybe go back to the pit lane for fresh enough tires. Levin is actually run out of fuel here as well, so he is under-fueled the car as much as he possibly can. And it's worked out quite well. I mean, he has a massive gap to second place. 9/10 from Levin to Wards.
I think the top 5 are all going to run out of fuel, but Duncan seems enough, and so does...
Look at the gap from 4th to 7th. 114, 124, 158, 199. That's incredible.
Yeah, that is good.
And even racing Nomia with a 062, like not very far away at all. And yeah, indeed, everybody just on their way back to the pit lane, get a fresh tire on, and then have one more run at the end. But like I said, the dry line, you can see it. It's starting to form. And it's gonna give... Whoa, Racing Nomia almost binning it on his in-lap, I think. And that dry line is gonna help these drivers a lot with improving their lap times. Oh, and there's a Sauber front wing just on the pit entry. One of the two HOT guys must have crashed. So yeah, 5 minutes left to go in Q3, I think. You might see drivers coming out now, so they get 2 runs in a row. Or they're gonna leave it until the end for the best possible track conditions. Geekin is gonna go again on the same set of tires actually. So we'll stay on board with him. The only one so far who's not put in a valid lap. 41.860 to beat for pole position. 44.001 to beat to not be last. 43.371 to beat to at least score some points in qualifying here.
Very wide line for turn 1.
The Esports point system, of course, with points for the qualifying as well. 10 for pole, 8 for second, 6 for third, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 down to P8. Geekin coming out quite wide the last part of the S section, and it very much ruins the next part. Coming onto this, I'm not sure, the straight entering the back straight, you could call it. And he completely misses the apex. Goes off track as well. Locked up the front left, and he's invalidated the lap again.
He might just have enough time to come in.
Oh yeah, easily. It's not doesn't worry about time. Wards, Hugo, Kiki are all back out on track already, so they're gonna try and get 2 runs on the same set of tire in here in a row. You see it quite a bit in wet conditions, drivers just doing multiple laps in a row. They can get used to conditions that way, and it improves their lap times. The tires don't wear out too much, unlike if you do a lap on the soft. Usually the second lap is going to be way slower. On the intermediate, or the full wet as well, that is not so much the case. But Levin, Nomia, Savasfly, Kenny, they're still going to stay in the pit lane. Deacon is now back in, and Ward's starting his lap. And let's see if he can eat into that massive gap that Levin has. Like I said, 9/10 pretty much is at me. 0.903 seconds is what's separating. Oh no, I can't even read. It's 783 for Wards and 860 for Levin. I don't know why I thought Wards also had a 7.6.
4 turn 1 for Wards,
and he abandons the lap. Not happy with that whatsoever.
Yeah, massive slide on entry, slide on exit. Michael at the wheel, it's gross.
Here comes Kiki though, starting his final, or what could be his final lap of qualifying. A 43.371 is previous best, that puts him 8th fastest. And he goes very deep in turn 1.
Very deep, yeah.
Is he gonna keep going though? Or is he also... Yeah, he's abandoning. It's down to none EIS. And Kiki is gonna try again next time around. Duncan! Are we finally gonna see someone get past turn 1 here? He's only got 1.5 laps of fuel in the car, so he has to make this lap count. That wasn't the great turn one either. Very loose in the rear, but he's going to keep going. 43.158 is previous best, and the margins in that group that he's currently in so tight. Any amount of improvement will be invaluable, and he's up 3.5 tenths in the first sector alone. So yeah, even with a scrappy first sector, a massive time gain, and that is going to be mainly down to the dry line starting to form. You can very much see it, and it's so crucial to stay on that dry line in this game. If you dip a tire into the wet, you are going to start feeling it. The grip is going to be completely gone. And at this point, every driver has left the pit lane. I'm waiting the deciding phase in the fight for pole position here. Well, not much of a fight right now. Unless somebody can pull an absolutely magic lap out of nowhere. Levin looks pretty safe in P1. I missed Duncan's... Okay, he's up by 8 tenths, so there is a significant amount of time to be found on this track. So maybe it's not over yet. And Levin coming... No, sorry, Duncan coming into the final 3 corners. Levin already on his lap. I'm trying to say 2 things at once.
But you know, it's 1.1 seconds up.
And Duncan over the line. That's going to be a 1:41.513 for the moment. That's pole position. And yes, Odino took up massively on the 43.1 that he said earlier. Currently 7th fastest. Can he maybe go all the way to the top here? 41.513 to beat. And the last sector looked pretty good as well. That's a 41.442. It's pole position for Odino Tux for the moment. Next driver over the line is AMS Watts, who's up by 9 tenths as well. He is also on a very, very strong lap here. Behind him is Levin, who's got a purple middle sector. He's also up by 7.5 tenths. And he was already in the 41s beforehand. Watts coming into the last 2 corners here. Braking for the last corner. Turns the car in aggressively. Has to correct it a little bit. And over the line it's a 41.156. Next car over the line, Levin. At the moment, Watts on pole position by 3 tenths. Can Levin do anything about it? Into the last corner he goes, 3rd gear, gets the car rotated in very nicely, and over the line that's going to be a 40.515 for Levin. What a lap, and that's pole position. Savas fly 41.389, but there are still a few cars coming around. Kiki into the last corner. Can he steal pole position away from Levin? He needs almost 3 seconds of improvement. Over the line, that's not nearly enough. 6th fastest for Kiki. Racing Nomia, 8.5 tenths up in the middle sector. He needs 2.5 seconds though. Kenny's just going to over the line, 42.585. We've got Hugo Tap, Geekian, Numia still going around. I think Duncan and Odintux, they already did the laps, yeah. Nomia, through the last corner, over the line, 41.987, 6th fastest. Geekin into the last corner, no lap time set for him just yet, so no idea what his pace looks like. And that's a 41.956, 6th fastest for the Sierra driver. Hugo Tap, the last one still going, comes into the last 2 corners, currently qualifying in P10. How far up the grid can he go here? Into the last corner. Hugo is going to qualify in P6, 41.9 dead. And indeed it is NLR Levin who takes pole position with a massive gap, 6 tenths, and in the world of team events, that is an absolute... that's universes. 6 tenths is incredible. You never see gaps that big in events like these. And Levin is going to be very happy with that, and I can tell you, as an NLR manager, I am very happy with that. You absolutely love to see it. HRT are also going to be quite happy with that performance. 2-3 here in qualifying. Then followed by Odinotux for Sierra. Duncan in P5. Hugo 6th. Then Geekin in 7th, second Sierra driver. Racing Nomia rounding out at the points pay position in qualifying. Kiki in 9th. And Kenny rounding out the top 10. And that's the qualifying results.
Yeah, Levin, truly the one who mastered the conditions. I was watching Hugo Tap's last lap. He was the last across the line. He made a big mistake into the hairpin before the straight. He went too deep. Maybe lost, 3, 4, 5 temps maybe. ruined lap in terms of getting into the top five, but I think he'd have taken sixth for that mistake. And all to play from the race. Also, we've got the restart here, which caught me out last time at Belgium when I ended up on the grid.
Yeah, so drivers are just going to be retiring on the first lap here. We'll get back into the lobby. I will have to set up the grid, invite all the drivers that were serving qualifying bans or that left throughout qualifying, and then we can get underway. 28 laps around the Circuit of the Americas, and after that qualifying performance, I think there is no way around predicting Levin as the race winner, or do you disagree?
Well, obviously, assuming the race is dry, maybe we'll see a slight change in pace. Some of these will be quicker, but it's very hard to discount. Levin after the pace in the wet, you'd assume he's gonna, have maybe not as much advantage, but some advantage in the dry. I started from pole. I agree. I don't think you can bet against him at the minute. But it'll be interesting to see if the two Saubers, second and third, not the two Saubers, two HRT second and third, can maybe work together actually to try and overcome the our driver. Could they employ some team tactics? I'm seeing a massive car, two massive tyres have just flown off.
I have not
Very
seen anything like
bizarre.
that.
The Mercedes and Levin had just massive tyres, and then all of a sudden Levin tyre shrink and just flew like 10 years. Bizarre. Yeah. The two HRTs would be hoping they can work together to try and battle Levin, but I think Levin will go into this with quite a high level of confidence after that qualifying performance.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth mentioning, Levin was pretty close to being knocked out in Q2. He missed
Yeah.
like, he went out pretty late, and by the time he was out on track, it started raining. He was the first of the drivers to do a lap in the rain, but still, it was impossible for him to beat the first 8. So if one or two more guys had done a lap in the dry, a valid lap, he would have been out. And just like that's the like even when you have a pace advantage like that, one small mistake of just waiting a minute in the pit lane has almost cost him a really good qualifying performance. Thankfully, it hasn't, and we have seen his pace today. And yeah, now we have to invite. Why are there 11 people in here? Where did everyone go? Right, so we've got Levin who's in, Ward is in, Saphasfly is in, Ordinotux is not in. Right, invited Ordinotux. Duncan is in, Hugo is in, Geekin is in, Nomia is in, Kiki is in, Kenny is still in, Herman is still in, Lars is still in, Christian is not in anymore.
No.
And he's not online.
I think he automatic and read back in. Was he? No, that was James. Oh no, he only asked for an invite actually. Oh well.
Oh, for God's sake. Why is he not showing online? I have to find him in the offline list now. I can't find him. Oh my god. Thing is that I ordered by the EA name in here. I don't know what people's EA name is.
Could did you ask his teammate to invite? Would you expect the energy to be around COTA? Just medium hard?
Yeah, it should be a medium hard, medium sort of race. I don't really expect the soft being used. And the two-stop obviously is not a thing. So it should be a fairly simple strategy for everyone.
V-carb will still do stop. V-carb have the worst strategies in the business. Unbelievable. How did they manage to throw every single race on strategy? How did you invite Christian the first time? Because he was online. No, he's...
Uh, why is Kevin in my non-platform friends? He's on PlayStation. Oh, oops. Invite the wrong guy. Sorry, Niall. I meant to invite Mafio. There we go. Why is there only 13? Where did everyone go? Suffer's like,
I
no,
don't
he's
know.
back. Linotux is in. Duncan is in. Hugo is in. Geekin is in. Nomia is in. Kiki is in. Kenny is still in. Herman is gone.
I'm not doing it.
Lars is in. Christian, I've still not been able to invite. There he is. Oh my god.
Mafia said he has to restart his game. Rumor has it we will never restart this race.
Right, so at this point, we are missing two drivers, and that's Mafio and...
Mafia is restarting his game.
Yeah, Mafio and CS Oleg, I think... Yeah, his Intel is gone. Jeez!
Just so you haven't done the settings yet. Hey, making sure.
I've not even had the chance to do the lobby settings yet.
He's just given mistakes, so I guess do the settings. And
Yeah, I'll just start doing the grid while he's sorting whatever needs to sort, and then we can hopefully get going because this has taken long enough already.
Was Isma Celtics exposed?
What?
Was Ismail Celtics expected to raise?
Yeah, he was supposed to race for Velox and didn't join for qualifying. Why? Is he in the lobby?
No, he just sent a message saying he didn't realize the race started an hour ago. He hasn't noticed
Idiot.
now. I wonder if he could just join now.
We could. Where is he?
I'll reply to him.
Where's he messaged? I can't find him.
It's just up. He sent a picture.
Oh, is he in YouTube chat or what? I've been looking at Discord.
No, just driver's chat.
Huh?
Reply to it now.
Am I blind? Oh, there he is.
Well, Matthew's in, so.
I'm just gonna double check the grid one more time, and then we can get going.
Yeah.
Okay,
A few
11, Ward,
viewers
Status Light, Udintox,
hate
Duncan,
watching.
Hugo, Geekin, Nomia, Kiki, Kenny, Herman, Lars, Christian, James. Yeah, that would be CS Oleg, but then Kevin and Matthew have moved up one since CS is not in. Okay.
So we're like, so 1 sec, game is
It's been
starting.
10 minutes. Oh, okay, the game is literally starting. I've sent the very other message now, and I can wait. If I just there we go.
I think even Liam Lawson is quicker than this process.
I'm not gonna abandon the start again. He's had enough time. It's we've been sitting here for like 15 minutes. I'm sorry, but at some point we've got to go.
Yeah, how long does a game take to load?
Alright, time for the race.
He just asked an invite.
I mean, sorry, you've had 15 minutes. If you can't at least communicate in this time to let us know how it's looking, because we've not heard from you in about 10 minutes. Last thing we heard was the internet's down. We can't wait forever. At some point we have to start the race. Like, if you have a lobby restart, yeah. You don't want to sit there for 30 minutes. You want to actually get the race underway at some point.
It looks dry.
Yeah, it looks very dry indeed. Sunny
Which is
skies
good.
here
Blue sky.
at COTA. So you can expect a fairly normal dry race, mediums to hards, hards to mediums. 28 laps around the circuit of the Americas, and that's a track that, in my experience, produces some very good racing on the F1 games. Enough long straights for good overtaking opportunity, not so many that you get absolutely sleek DRS trains. Technical sections, DS section, the final sector, where drivers can showcase their skill and put a bit of a gap on the drivers behind them. You actually have a chance of staying ahead if you are ahead. So it should be quite interesting seeing how the drivers manage this. Of course, Levin on pole position, followed by the two HRT drivers right behind him. So we're going to see who will lead out of turn 1, how the HRT drivers try and work together to beat Levin. Of course, that's not going to be much of a factor coming to turn 1, but certainly later throughout the race, in terms of strategy and just general team play, that will be quite interesting. The guys in the qualifying band coming through from the back of the grid, the guys who missed out in Q2 with the rain coming down. Should be a very interesting race, and there we go. The 5 red lights are on, 11 on the right hand side, Wards, 11 on the left hand side, Wards on the right hand side, sorry. And it's lights out, and away we go. And a really bad start by AMS Wards. He's being swarmed coming to turn 1 there by both his teammate and Odino Tux. But Wards able to outbreak him on the outside and hangs on the second place, but Levin clean through at the front. We've got Geekin and Odino Tux battling over P4, the two teammates, and Odino Tux backing out, Geekin moving through. So, Levin leads the way out of the first corner, followed by the two HOTs, then the two Sierras, then the two GT10s, and then Hugo, Kenny, and Lars rounding out the top 10. But a fairly calm opening sector. We've got Mafio trying to hang it around here instead of racing Nomiya coming from the MTS section. They make a bit of contact, and Nomiya moves ahead. Kenny and Hugo battling, coming onto the long straight. Hugo on the inside line. Kenny on the outside, should have the better traction, coming out the corner. He's got the slipstream of Kiki up ahead, which should give him the advantage. Also mediums on the car for Kenny, while it's hard for Hugo. We've got mediums for Geekin.
HRT.
Yep, battle for P2. The Geekin getting involved as well. Geekin on the mediums, same as Kenny, Lars, and Christian. Everybody else on the hard compound tire. So the overcut, the preferred strategy around COTA, it seems. And a send from Odino Tux. And he makes contact with his teammate.
DRS.
He sends it on Wars, goes into the back of Geekin, and spins him round. Geekin was able to recover the car, but he's lost DRS to Flare up ahead, who himself has lost DRS to Levin. The top 2 at the moment in a bit of a bubble of their own, while there's a massive scrap going on behind them from 3rd and downwards. That's Hugo making a move on Lars into the last corner. And then we see Herman pulling out the slipstream as he Moves past Lars, coming onto the straight as well. Has the inside line into turn 1. Up ahead. A send from Kiki on board. And a winglet flying for, I think, that might have been Odinotux, who was lost to wing. He was ghosting coming out of turn 1. And Kiki with a very, very late saint into turn 1. And I would say he was the one who caused the contact there with AMS Wards, it was, I believe. Just a bit too eager.
And Hugo. Oh, they make contact. Herman has to cut the corner. Still side by side. They go down the hill. Herman's going to pull ahead. Now the Red Bull dives on the inside of AMR Lars.
Oh, and Herman's been spun around.
Herman's round.
He rejoined at the back of the strain in last position. And look at his battle. That's Kevin Sonnenberg racing Nomia, RS7 James, Christian Luminov. Coming, yeah, pretty much side by side across that straight. Look at this coming at the end of the DRS zone. 2 by 2 coming out the corner there. That's James and Hugo. There's also wing damage for Hugo on the front left end plate. He's lost a little bit of downforce there. Lars sending it up the inside. Gets
the inside.
pushed through a Mafio. A 3-second time penalty to Herman Polyakov there. He's already running in last place. Further insult to injury for his race. And Christian trying to go around it of Hugo. Hugo with that wing damage, moving very slowly, and he goes off completely. Gets passed by Herman. Lars into the pit lane, and same for Hugo. So they're going to try and get their wings changed, I believe. I guess Lars also picked up damage at some point during that massive squabble, which is to be expected. I was going to say, surely there's more drivers in this train with wing damage, which I just didn't catch. But after all of that, the top 2, Levin especially, is absolutely gone. 2 seconds clear. Levin is from second place, Safarsfly at the moment. Safarsfly himself, 1.6 seconds to Geekin. But Geekin, on those mediums, you would think that he can try and close that gap to Safarsfly. But maybe Ward's gonna have something to say about that. If he can try and get past Geekin, make sure his teammate keeps that gap. So that Safarsfly at least can bring home the P2 for the team. We've still got a very long way to go, of course. Might be a little bit early to start thinking about stuff like that. Christian with a move on Mafio coming onto the long straight there. And they are quite far away from the train there. Safarsfly indeed. Sorry, Geekin with being overtaken by Wards for 3rd position. Of course, no DRS for Geekin down the straight. Herman with a send on Christian Luminov. They're side by side coming out the corner. Christian on the mediums has the inside line. You would think that that is surely going to give him the position. Herman tries to hang it around the outside to make a bit of contact. And Herman has the inside line for next holiday. Bang sidepods again. And a switchback from Christian.
Switchback from Christian.
Yeah, now has to hang it all the way around the outside, but it's a fully flat out corner, so Herman has the clear advantage, and he does pull ahead in the end. But there's a DRS one coming up, and surely Christian is just going to come right back at him. And here we go, on the main straight. Also, a battle up ahead, perhaps. No move from Geekin on Wards. But Christian is also going to stick behind Herman, surprisingly. I thought he would try and send back up the inside to turn 1. He definitely had the run on him with the DRS, but he sticks behind for the first sector. And I think the storm has settled down a bit. Geekin with a 3-second time penalty. And I don't think it's going to be the last, of course. Quite a few time penalties handed out throughout the races on F124. Track limits quite strict around COTA as well. So something to watch out for as well for the rest of the race. And the gap at the front. Levin is gaining, what, like the second a lap at this point? Insane, the pace he's pulling.
His legs.
Yeah.
And waltzing into the lead. Here comes Geekin, trying to get back past Wards. Goes to the outside. Has the position. Although he's off track. Wards now back on the outside. And reclaims 3rd. Geekin tries to hang it, but he cannot.
On a send from Duncan on Odinotux there. Also wing damage for Duncan on the front right end plate. And still able to brake so much later. But Odinotux does pull ahead. Coming out of the corner. Has the inside line for the flat out corner as well. Which really helps him to secure that 5th place. And still, 2 HRT drivers. Followed by the 2 CRs. Followed by the 2 GT10s. It's just Levin completely clear out front. You can see him just up on the coming up the hill to turn 1. And there is Duncan moving out of slipstream with another move against Odinotux. Now into turn 1. Forces the Mercedes off the track. And Kiki's gonna try and take advantage. They bang wheels. Kiki now trying to move around the outside into the S section. They bang wheels again and again. Oh my goodness me. How have they all come out alive out of that? Kiki has moved past the Sierra man. Another time penalty to Herman Polyakov. It's now 6 seconds added to his final race time. And a massive train forming in behind GT10 Duncan there, all the way down to RS7 James, who has just gone to the back of Nomia.
James goes way too deep.
And he's picked up wing damage from that, yep. James misjudging the braking point. Or maybe the train braking earlier than he expected. Either way, he's the one who went to the back of Nomia. He's picked up damage. And that's gonna hurt him for the rest of this race. Either he can get a change in the pit lane and lose about 7 seconds, or he can suffer through the damage for the rest of this Grand Prix.
Battling once again between the Mercedes and the Aston Martin.
Kevin Zunneberg with an absolutely amazing race so far, I must say. Starting 15th, now already up into 8th. And looking racy on the back of the Dinotux for P7. So the Evolution Racing driver, well, doing quite a good job so far, you would say.
Yeah, Geekin's completely lost touch of Warheaven now. So
James comes into the pit lane to get that front wing change.
Here goes Duncan. He's got it easily. Kiki is going to follow his teammate through if he can on the inside of turn 1.
They're going to be side by side coming into the S section. And Kiki has whooped around the outside.
Are those mediums already looking worse than the hards, maybe?
They shouldn't be. It's not that that bad for them usually. Geekin seems to be struggling a bit indeed.
Progress as well. It's stuck in 9th.
And also Dinotux pulling out the slipstream of his teammate Geekin there. Maybe he's looking for a move as well. Thinks Geekin might be holding him up. I'm not sure. But look how close that train is coming on the back straight. Duncan might be in big trouble of being overtaken by Geekin here. There comes his teammate Kiki. Of course, he's not going to be fighting him much. But there comes Dinotux late on the brakes, and he absolutely harpoons Kiki. No other way to put it. He just broke way too late.
Yeah, I saw that coming before it happened. Now here gets Kevin Zunneberg around the outside of Geekin, can't pull it off, but he made a very good attempt there. He's up to 6. Poor Kiki, complete passenger in that. As Dinotux tried to move on both his teammate and Duncan. Too late, and into the back of Kiki. 3 seconds there for Satisfy.
Of course, him running in 2nd place, that could be quite... well, right at the moment, the only thing would change actually is the running order of the 2 HRT drivers. So it would actually cost them absolutely fuck all. Geekin into the back of Duncan there, and Geekin picks up wing damage. And quite, he's lost the front left end plate now.
Duncan had a massive snap because there, and he lost out to Kevin Zunneberg up to 4th. He continues his incredible run through the field.
Still, like, anyone apart from Levin and Kevin left who's knocked out wing damage. Like, I think everyone has picked up wing damage somewhere at this point. Kenny looks intact. But with all of this chaos, the trains have been reconnected. Herman and Christian right in the back of Kiki for 10th position there. Kevin Zunneberg gonna have to try and pull away from this chaos. He worked his way up from 15th to 4th, 11 places gained in 7 laps. But Dinotux is gonna come back at him with the DRS. And he brakes really late.
Down the inside. And he hits Geekin, and Geekin's round now.
I didn't see that, I only saw Geekin coming out of the corner, spun around and ghosting.
Didn't have that much contact. I'm surprised he spanned from that. I don't know whether he had too much traction as well and lost some traction and then got tapped by Nomia. It didn't look like there was that much contact. I'm surprised he went round like that, but a shame Geekin got like that.
Either way, I must say the driving standards so far in these opening laps of the USA Grand Prix have been quite disappointing.
Nomia does have front right damage. I don't know if he had that before. I'm not sure whether I actually missed some of the contact there and he made more contact than I thought, but...
I mean, it's entertaining, but I do worry for the stewards. They're gonna have a long evening. And there's a move from Mafio on Geekin for P11 as Herman makes a move on Racing Nomia and GT10 Kiki.
Around the outside of Kiki.
Of course, both of those guys have got wing damage, so Herman He's gonna have to try and get around them, so that he can keep going at his usual pace. Maybe try and build a gap. Of course, he needs to do that with the 6 seconds of penalties he has. That will be added to his race time. Two HRT drivers now in a train together. Ward has caught Sly for P2. The gap to P4 and behind, yeah, at 5 seconds now pretty much. So maybe they can work together to keep that gap stable, make sure Sly stays in 3rd place even after the time penalty is applied. And here comes Odin Talks with a move on Kevin Zunneberg for 4th place. In the background, that's Herman Poliakov with a move on GT10 Kiki as well. Kiki tries to outbrake the McLaren around the outside, can't get the car stopped, and Herman gets ahead.
Duncan getting very close to the back of Kevin Zunneberg there, but no contact made.
We've got Lars with a move on James there in the battle for 14th. Of course, that is also a battle for points paying positions. Points going down to P15 in the race in the Esports division. So despite the fact that these guys had to make an extra pit stop right in the start of the Grand Prix to get their wings changed, they are still in the fight or something. Swap between two HRT guys, Ward's moving past Sly. It did seem like Ward had the better pace so far, so it only makes sense that he would lead the train and try and pull his teammate along. And who knows, maybe he can go chasing after 11. It's quite a big gap. But we'll see what sort of pace Ward can put on the ground now. If he can go after 11, or if that gap of 11 is only going to continue to grow from here on out.
They're top pretty glad they managed to get away from all this chaos. It has been chaos to say the least, and the fight behind them. So much contact and that opens and overtaking left, right, centre. It's going to continue, I think. Here's Herman with a good run on Kenny. He's got a good run on Duncan.
Yeah, might be a 3-right moment coming up here.
Nah,
for now we've got Kenny and Duncan. Herman sticking behind for a little while longer. Kenny gets past the GT10 driver.
From Kenny.
And Kenny moves up to 6th.
Stick.
We talked about Kenny not making much progress, but honestly I think he was just kind of playing it very safe with all the chaos going on, which could have been quite a smart move, because now he's up into 6th and he's one of the few drivers left in this train without damage. I pretty much, the only ones I can see is without damage and without time penalty is Kevin and Kenny. I think everybody else that those two are battling with right now have got either wing damage or a time penalty, and they're going to be in trouble for the rest of this race. Actually, I think Kiki has also managed to get without damage, but he did get collected a few times. Christian in the pit lane there, coming in with the undercut. Duncan holding on against Herman to P7. And we'll see how Christian comes out in comparison to the guys who made wing changes. I think he is going to be behind James and Lars here. Fast lap of the race by James. And indeed, there comes Christian out the pit lane, and he is going to be behind Lars, maybe even behind Hugo. No, not even close. So James and Lars are going to become a factor in this race. Not in the sense that I think they're going to really be in the fight for the top places, unless it's a safety car coming in that will save their strategy. But they are going to be a roadblock for all of these guys who have to try and get around them. Christian with a 3-second time penalty there, Kevin Zunneberg with a move on Odino Turks for P4. The two of them seem happy to swap places, and they are getting away from the rest of the train. And there is a send from Herman on Kiki. Herman on the inside line, now the outside. Kiki has the advantage, and he makes use of it. Unless... Oh, a penalty for Kenny there. I talked about it being a big advantage. He would have no penalty and no damage. Well, and just like that, it's all changed once again. And a penalty, another penalty for Southers Place, now to 6 seconds. And with, you must say, absolutely no pressure to be getting time penalties like that is quite unnecessary. Like, all he needs to do in this scenario is drive at like 90%, just kind of cruise. Same with your teammate, bring home the 2-3. Levin is pretty far away, and the gap behind is just as large. You're kind of safe where you are. Really no need to like push hard and try everything. Geekin with a wing change there, and he's gonna come out at the back of the field with that in 16th behind Hugo. Time penalty for Ward as well, both HRT drivers picking up penalties, and at the moment they would be somewhat fine with this. Savasfly would probably drop to 4th or 5th there with Kevin and Only the Tux chasing him. Ward would stay where he is. But if there is a safety car, those penalties will really bite them in the ass. Odino Tux should be in position to re-overtake Kevin. There he goes. Quite simply driving past the DRS, and the same in behind. Kiki moving past Kenny for P6.
Kiki with a recovery after being spun around at the end of the straight by Odino Tux about 6 laps ago.
Yeah, he's back and running into V6 here. Chasing after Kevin and Odino Tux up ahead. Lars with a DRS swap against James. The battle for 12th on track. Keep an eye on Christian and Geekin. What sort of lap times they're going to be doing if they can pull off the undercut on the drive to start on the hards. Of course, not going to have DRS on anyone, but seeing how these trains have been going so far, it might actually be a good thing for them to be in clean air. Although I would say it's calmed down a little bit now.
Herman,
Just as I say that, there comes Herman.
Hit the Red Bull.
Oh my god, yeah, okay.
That's
That's a classic commentator's curse. I just say it's calmed down, and a very poor send by Herman, I have to say. Spins around Kenny, makes contact with, I think it was Duncan as well. Maybe he's picked up damage for himself.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like it, but he has spun Kenny around.
It was a late move. He tried to leave it late, so the Aston Martin had no chance to defend. Went in too deep, hit Kenny. Kenny down to 11th, and you've really cursed him since he said he was doing well a few laps ago. 3-second penalty, and now span around down to 11th.
We have been seeing quite a bit of that in this race, just sort of misjudging those late sends in the brakes, and instead of going past the guy you're trying to overtake, you're just going for the guy ahead of that guy, you know? Like, if that made sense what I just said.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the risk when you go for a move like this. You have to judge it correctly, otherwise, yeah, you are just gonna go into the side or into the back of someone.
Oh, big snap from Duncan. Herman's gonna get through now. Because Duncan's ghosted, and he had the outside line and was well wide anyway. Duncan just dropping traction by himself, bit of tyre working in maybe. He hasn't lost up as bad as he gets a 3-second penalty, but it was Herman that went miles off track. Duncan went a little bit off track. Got the penalty for it. Herman was comfortably off as Kenny into the pits. Get those medium tyres off. Past the end.
Yep, Kenny's gone the longest out of those starting on the mediums. And he's gonna, of course, with the spin niche to spin sent into, have lost quite a few places, and the fact he's been undercut, he might actually come out behind Hugo. I think he'll be ahead of Deacon still. There's Hugo, and they're gonna be side by side into turn 1. And indeed, Hugo coming out just ahead of Kenny, but he is ahead of Deacon still.
You wonder if Kenny would have actually stayed out longer if he hadn't have been spun around and lost the DRS train. If he'd still been in the train, would have kept going on the mediums maybe. Two HRTs swap places again, they're working together quite well here. Try and, well, they're not really gaining on Levin, but they're slowly pulling away from Odino.
They're not just not gaining, Levin is still pulling away.
A similar... They're doing a similar tactic Odino, Tux and Kevin, I think, in DRS swapping.
I must say, I mean, I've not really seen much of Levin, he's not been on screen at all, but that's absolutely amazing. He's been completely in control of this race so far. You love to see it.
Reminds me of one of those Verstappen drives in 2023 where the cameras would never be on it, but he'd just be in the lead.
Yeah, you just kind of forget he exists. Like, I don't think I've mentioned Levin since lap 1.
Kevin Zinneberg into the pits. Going for the undercut.
Lap 14, so quite an early stop onto the mediums. That's longer than anyone went on the mediums in the first stint. Duncan in as well. They want to get off this hard and onto the mediums as early as possible. And we are going to see no wing change from Duncan. He's going to keep driving with the wing damage.
Lars getting past James here for...
And Kevin, when he come on in clean air, he's got James and Lars.
Yeah, be close to Kevin. No, Kevin's got him.
Yeah, and that's crucial. That's absolutely crucial that Kevin has come out just ahead of Lars and James there. Gets him into clean air. Now he has the undercut on Odino Turks, and he can maybe use this to get away from him and secure the 4th place.
It could even be third or second with the penalty that the HRT drivers have. We're hovering around 6 seconds behind Fly, so he was just taking in the penalty with an undercut as well. It could cement his place on the podium here, which would be a great drive from 15th on the grid.
Yeah, Duncan in the meantime, he's come out in between the two IRT guys, Christian and Kenny. And he's gonna get probably caught up in the traffic of James and Lars. Like I said, those guys are gonna become a big factor in this race. They're gonna hold up quite a few drivers. Everyone who comes out behind them will have to hope they make a pit stop before they get to the back of them. Otherwise, they are gonna lose quite a bit of time on those, or stuck behind those guys on their old tires. And we've got Ward coming in the pit lane. A lap earlier than his teammate. Oh, and he's tapped the barrier in the pit lane. I think he's gotten away with it. I don't see an end plate or anything that's flown off. But that could have been quite an embarrassing way to lose your wing. We've got Kiki, Herman, Mafio in as well. Racing Nomia. They are all responding to Kevin's undercut. Oh well, mainly to Duncan's. I think they're not way yeah, Kevin was way ahead and not going to be too worried about him. So yeah, let's look at Duncan actually.
I didn't expect to drop the spot for Kevin undercut.
And he gets another time penalty as well. And then they come out the pit lane. It's Duncan side by side with Herman into the first corner. Coming out the pit lane, Herman on cold tires, and Duncan has the better exit, moves up into 10th indeed. Kiki has come out literally right behind Christian.
Yeah. Mafia just ahead of Kenny. Geekin as well. He just lap there on 4 lap hold hard. Goes a bit wide.
Kevin Zunenberg is almost caught in the back of Wards. And a big send from Kiki on Christian. Gets it stopped. Makes a bit of contact though on the exit of the corner. Christian was being very nice there to leave Kiki to space because Kiki was not alongside coming into the braking zone and definitely also not at the turning point.
Here goes Herman.
That was very much a Christian choosing life sort of situation rather than insisting on his right to the corner. And here comes Kiki against he's past James already and now he needs to try and get around Lars. He moves around the outside, gets forced off the track.
Contact.
Levin, Safasfly, Odino Tuxen all into the pits as well now. And Kiki moves past AMR Lars for P6. Fast lap race for Kevin Zunenberg. Is he going to come out in DRS range to Safasfly? Has he just pulled off an absolutely amazing call with that undercut? Not quite, but he's close. He's very close. A time penalty to Levin. 3 seconds added to his final race time. At the moment that changes absolutely nothing. But if there is a safety car now, all of a sudden Kevin Zunenberg with a qualifying ban could be in a position to win this race.
Kiki's
and here comes Kiki now
Lars
against AMR Lars and that could have ended even worse than the time penalty. And he's still trying to go around his outside somewhere. And that's exactly what I meant. Lars and James are holding this train up so much. Here comes Herman Polyakov, he's stuck behind. Kiki moves up the inside, Herman has to stick behind for a little while longer. Duncan with the send! And we are firmly back in the sort of territory we saw in the opening laps. A complete free-for-all. There goes James past Lars, and there comes Duncan as well. He needs to try and get around these two. He's gotten Lars. Lars looks back up the inside, sends it on Duncan. On the old tires. 3 abreast. Jesus, what am I seeing? Lars holding everything he has around the outside there. But it's not quite enough, is it?
He goes up the inside!
Oh
my god.
These guys are really not giving up this position easily. Yeah, Duncan has got through on them finally. But he has lost DRS for Herman and his teammate up ahead. And now we've got Christian Nubenov and Mafio stuck behind them. That is gonna... yeah, this one is not gonna end. And Duncan might actually be in trouble of being re-overtaken by James here coming out in the last corner. That would be an absolute worst case scenario for Duncan. To be stuck behind James for another lap. I'm not sure he can run because here comes James in the DRS. No, he sticks behind. Up ahead, Herman and Kiki battling through the first corner. Got Hugo Tapp in the pit lane for the second time in this race. And he retires from the Grand Prix. And that means we're left with 15 drivers. Everyone who's still going, if they make it to the end of the race, will get at least a point. But Kevin is dropping back from the HOT drivers, so now the flip side of the undercut is being shown. He missed out on the DRS range by the tiniest of margins. And now he is going to keep dropping back forward more and more. He's got quite a big tyre disadvantage, especially over Safarsfly.
Christian's going to go for the send here on Lars. He doesn't fully commit, but he gets it stopped nicely. Lars gets the better exit.
That's Geekin going off in the background there. Herman and Kiki side by side, down the back straight once more. Here comes Mafio, trying to make a double move on both Lars and Christian at once. They're 3 wide. Mafio latest on the brakes and gets ahead of them both.
Lars off track.
And now both IRT drivers trying to get past Lars. Instead, they seem to be battling each other. They're side by side the entire last day. Fast lap of the race from NL11. Kenny has moved past his teammate for P12, and now he's staring in the back of AMR Lars. Another time penalty to Herman Polyakov. 9 seconds, I think, now that he's on. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good day at the minute to be Mafio, Lars, or Kevin. The only runners, and Rowan Nomia, the only runners left without a penalty.
Whoa!
Oh, contact!
What's happened to Kenny?
Ferrari. Lars went into the back of him. Unbelievable. I think I didn't fully see it, but they went for a late move, tried to get to the inside. Last minute, just went straight into the back of Kenny, and it's a disaster. Kenny's camera again.
I couldn't. I mean, I was on Kenny's camera, but I couldn't really tell what happened to him. He just went off in the braking zone. Yeah, what you said could be right, and he just didn't re-end it.
I can look back at it. Yeah, I can look back at it. I would have caught it on my screen, but. And
a time penalty for racing number. At this point, Kevin Zunneberg, Mafio, and AMR Lars, the only ones left running without a time penalty. They would be in absolute heaven with a late safety car. Especially Lars, he's essentially fighting over the wooden spoon here, since he has to make another pit stop or try and go to the end on these hards from lap 3, I think it was. So either way, he's kind of screwed. So if there's a safety car, all of a sudden, Lars could be in a podium position.
Well, I'm 9 times sure Lars get a penalty for that. I've watched it back. Kenny took Lars on the inside. Lars tried to then re-overtake him with a late dive to the inside. Clips the back of Kenny. Sends him into a spin. Damage for Lars as well.
Oh, that's quite bad, yeah.
Oh, there's more contact going on now. Kenny, Lars, Geekin.
Oh, and Lars almost spins Geekin around. James now in the pit lane. Now Lars into the pit lane as well.
Lars comes in with that damage.
And these guys who were on the normal one-stop strategy finally have been released. And it's caused quite a few big gaps in this train. Of course, 8 seconds ahead of Safarsfly and Wards in second and third. Then 4 seconds to Kevin Zunneberg, 2 seconds to Odin Tux, and now 2.5 to Herman, who's got Kiki right behind him. And 5 seconds to Duncan and Mafio, 2.5 to Christian, 3.5 to Geekin, Kenny and Nomia. And you have to remember, all of these guys were right behind each other, mostly, in the first stint. So this pit stop phase and the traffic with Lars, James, getting in everyone's way sort of, by just existing on their old tires and defending quite aggressively as well, has caused some massive gaps. And it's sort of done an early decision for a lot of the positions. Now everyone's just sort of fighting over 1 or 2 places, and you're not going to be seeing too much more movement, I think. Unless, of course, there is a safety car that could put everything upside down.
Yeah, Kiki got past Herman on the straight, and Kenny got past Geekin on the straight. Yeah, Mafio and Kevin, the two Haas drivers. I don't know what team that is, I'm very sorry. They're running well with no penalties. That's the one. The only drivers left, apart from AMR Lars, no pens.
It's a very good point. Both EVR drivers, they had qualifying bans, but in the race they have been squeaky clean. In terms of track limit penalties. Honestly, I wouldn't dare to call anyone squeaky clean at this point. I don't think I've seen them kill someone, but I've seen so much shit in this race that I can't rule out they've also killed someone, you know? The same goes for any other driver, really.
Absolutely. Apart from who I don't think has seen another driver since
maybe he's
and he is cruising.
Crashed into a lap car, who knows?
Has anyone been lapped? I'm not even sure anyone has.
No. Hugo, I guess, technically.
Disgusting from Levin. That time he cracked into Hugo was unbelievable. The two HRT drivers are racking up their overtake stat as well, just overtaking each other once or even twice a lap sometimes.
Yeah, they're managing this perfectly. They're just, that's a time penalty for AMLRs, indeed now leaving two EVR drivers as the only two drivers left without time penalties. And another one for Geekin as well.
12 seconds.
What I was about to say, the HRT drivers managing this absolutely perfectly. They're just swapping past in each DRS zone, gaining time on Kevin Zunneberg in behind, because of course, with the time penalties coming Safasfly's way, they need a 6-second gap to Kevin come the line to make sure they stay in P2 and P3.
Still side by side into the quick left-hander. Nomia, they're still side by side in fact. Kenny around the outsides. And they both got rest here, so this could continue as Nomia tucks him some slipstream. He's not going to be close enough to continue the battle any further.
So yeah, in terms of battles out on track, we've got Nomia against Kevin, Herman against Kiki, and technically Waltz against Safasfly, but that's not going to be much of a battle from here on out. They are still trying to get the 6-second gap to Kevin Zunneberg to make sure they stay P2 and P3.
Kevin Zunneberg has Odino Tux right behind him, but Odino Tux does have that 3 seconds, and he overtakes him now down Main Straight.
Yep, I'm not sure how I missed that while I was going through the battle, but indeed. Odino Tux moving up to 4th, and there comes Herman with the move on Kiki as well, up into P6.
Yeah, Kiki, you can see that Herman has 6 seconds more penalty than him, so he's got to keep it right behind him to the end of the race to take that P6 off.
Yeah, and they,
and Mafio,
of course,
6 seconds behind.
Yeah, both have to think about Mafio as well. The moment Mafio would jump Herman, would not jump Kiki. And Kenny all over the back of Geekin. It's actually worth mentioning, James on twin level medium is only 6 seconds behind Nomia in 30. We might actually still get involved in this race a little bit. Maybe in the battle for sort of the P10 area. Duncan into the pit lane. Quite surprisingly, 6 laps to go. Has he picked up more damage? A time penalty for RL7 James, just as I said he might get back into the fight for sort of P10 area.
Wing change Duncan.
Yeah, and a wing change for Duncan. Fresh medium tires and he will come out in 14th. A lot of work to do to get back into the race.
Or would you think Sauce will be struggling for 6 laps?
I would have gone for mediums as well in this position. The soft is just not a great race tire.
Fair enough. The two HRT drivers, surprise, surprise, have swapped places down the straight.
Oh, and Lars with a retirement. A safety car has been called out!
A safety car! An Evolution are loving this, with no penalties for either driver. Unbelievable.
Lars has crashed at turn 1 somehow.
Happened?
I thought he retired in the pits and the AI drove out or something like that, but no, he's managed to bring out a safety car. I have no idea how, and that's going to throw the race completely upside down. And all of a sudden, I talked about this earlier, Kevin Zunneberg is now in a position to win this race. Of course, they're all going to be coming to the pit lane. Levin, Wards, Safasfly, and all of these time penalties that people have are going to be so much more of an issue now. Odino Tux in, Kevin in, Herman in, Kiki in.
Levin on the medium.
Mafio
gamble on the soft, surely.
in.
Yeah, soft Wards.
Levin needs to try and build a 3-second gap to Kevin.
Safasfly softs as well.
Christian is in. Kenny is in. Geekin with a pass in the pit lane. Was he already in the pit entry? That was close call. But I think the game has allowed it. Well, that might go no disputes because I'm not sure they were like officially in the pit lane entry yet. Either way, cheeky by Geekin, knowing the rulebook, of course. You are allowed to pass if you're in the pit lane. I'm not sure if he was, but if he was, then very good move. And indeed, absolutely everyone coming in fresh tires apart from Duncan, of course, he only pitted last lap. And we've got softs for Wards, Safasfly, Odino Tux, Christian and James. Everybody else on the medium compound tire. And if we open the graphic for the time penalties, Levin, Wards, Odino Tux, Kiki, Racing Nomia, Duncan on 3. Suffersfly, Christian, Kenny and James on 6. Then Herman on 9. And Geekin on 12. No penalties for Kevin and Mafio. EVR, with a double qualifying ban, might all of a sudden be in, the most dreamiest of positions you could ever imagine. And they have AMR last to thank for that safety car. Who, I'm still not sure how he could have even, like... I don't want to accuse him of anything, but how do you crash at turn 1?
Well,
like,
I think...
or how do you actually crash out, I mean? Because the wall is very far away.
Obviously, he could have had a wheel failure, pedal failure, something like that. He also could have, I guess, put way too much traction on the exit and then counter-steered it into the barrier.
No, because I think on the track map he was in the runoff, just gone straight after turn 1. So he hadn't spun or anything like that. Which, would have been an explanation. But that is also something that will be in the steward's room. That's not something for us to worry about right now, really.
I think it's safe to say the races are pretty much done for Geekin and Herman. 9 in total between them. I mean, I guess they could still get some low points, but they've certainly got no chance of challenging for anything higher.
Not just could, they will. 2 points for everyone still in the running. No points for Lars and Hugo. P14,
I meant no top 10.
Safety car should be in at the end of this lap, and then we'll sprint to the end. And what a race that would be for EVR. If they can pull maybe a double podium out of here, which is very much possible. I mean, they're running in 5th and 8th, but with all the penalties applied, they have 1st and 2nd right now. I'm not sure actually if you open the gap to leader, okay, they'll be 1st and 3rd. Since, Levin is over 3 seconds away from Mafio. So I don't think Levin needs to worry about Mafio, but for sure Levin needs to worry about Kevin.
I have checked, and both Kevin and Mafio have 2 warnings, so they've got to be careful.
I mean, if you're Herman in this scenario, surely you just kind of subtly send it, and maybe force Kevin off the white line a few times, you know? See if he gets another warning, so of course that would be removable anyway, but...
It would be heartbreak for Kevin and Mafia to pick up a warning here in these last few laps, after doing so well for the first 4, but... we will see.
Also for Levin, I mean, he was in complete and utter... like, he had this race in the bag from lap 1. And now he has to work so much harder. The time penalty he got himself also, I must say, under absolutely no pressure. Quite unnecessary.
Yeah, and he's on the... he'll have the slowest tyre for the restart. It might turn out to be the fastest tyre for the end, but at that point he could be battling so much that Kevin or Mafio could stay in the penalty and benefit from that. So Levin's got to hope for a similar scenario to lap 1 where there's someone battling behind him, you can just pull away and get that 3-second gap.
Yeah, he needs to hope that... it's quite bad for him that Walt, Silverslide and Dietrich are all on softs, makes it much more likely to stay in DRS to him. And then all Kevin has to do is stay with those 3. Safety car indeed has been called in, of course. Levin warming up his tires. He will decide when he goes, when to restart the race. Of course, no passing until the start-finish line anyway. But when does he go? He's gonna wait very long. Now he's straightened out, no more weaving, but he's still not gone. Now he's finally gone into the last corner. And Levin, on another time penalty for Suffersfly. Really unnecessary, literally on the restart. Levin is going to be safe from Ward into turn 1, but he's... well... oh, and Herman is all over the back of Kevin. Kevin with a bad restart there. I'll leave the gap to leader open because this is going to be crucial. Kevin needs to stay within 3 seconds of Levin. Currently it's 2.1. And Herman, of course, is going to do absolutely everything he can to annoy the shit out of Kevin. Yep, there he goes. Tries to make a move into the S section. He has all the motivation to try and get Kevin out in those 3 seconds because... Herman is racing for nothing at this point with 12 seconds of penalties he has.
That's another one.
How do you even get two 3-second penalties in like 5 corners? If we open the penalties graphic now, I'll keep that up for now.
On Levin.
Herman will just send on Kevin. Yep.
Ward's and Levin battling third and win here. They're both 3 seconds.
Indeed, of
They're
course,
going
I
for
should
now,
have
they've
really
got to focus on
taken
each
into
other.
consideration much more. Waltz is absolutely in a position to win this race as well. He's made the move on Levin, and with Kevin dropping behind Herman and Kiki there, Kevin is now well beyond 3 seconds. And all of a sudden, Waltz is in
Now
a
here
position
comes
to win this race,
Satisfy.
and Safasly can do the same thing Herman was doing to Kevin. He can try and pull Levin off, you know, force him into a battle with him. Safasly with 12 seconds of penalties, really fighting over nothing. But he can help his teammate Waltz win this race. Another time penalty to Christian Numanov as well. 9 seconds added now to his final race time. 3 laps to go in this Grand Prix. Safasly with a good run on Levin. He's going to burn all of his overtake. He's going to send it up the inside in turn 1. No, he sticks behind. No sense from Safasly. But Levin has got quite a tough job ahead of him now. He can't see the gap to Kevin Zuckerberg in P7, but he knows Kevin is still there. He needs to stay 3 seconds away from him, and the same goes for Wards. While they also are battling each other, Levin and Wards in a battle on track, while they are also in a time trialing competition with Kevin and Mafio. Another time penalty to Herman. He's now indeed up to 12. DRS should be enabled, I think. We'll see how they play this. If Wards and Levin are going to end up waiting until the last lap to battle, or if they're going to be DRS swapping until then, let's see. Looks like Levin is going to go for the move, yep. Goes past Wards, back into the lead of the race. In behind we've got Kiki moving past Herman Poniakov for P5.
Kiki around the outside of Christian. Still side by side here.
Christian on the soft compound.
Make some contact.
Can't move around the outside. The soft may be already dropping some tire wear. And goes a bit deep now under pressure from Duncan in behind. Coming towards the end of the lap. Levin is pulled out. Well, he's not pulled out of DRS, but he has got Ward 6/10 away from him. Gap from Kevin to Levin, 4 seconds right now. Kevin needs to gain a full second, while he's got Herman right ahead of him. Gonna be a very tough job to get back within 3-second range. Herman with a move on Kiki, up the inside to turn 1, late on the brakes. And the NLR driver gets the car stop, moves up into 5th on track.
Battling here between James and Duncan. Side by side going into the S's. Duncan will pull ahead.
And a time penalty to Kenny, another one. He's up to 9 seconds now. Wards is almost dropped out of DRS range to Levin. In fact, has he dropped? No, he has not. It's very close, but he hasn't. Levin, once again, showcasing incredible pace here to move away from the HRT drivers. I think Wards is going to get DRS one more time, but next DRS straight, he might already be dropping back. And, yeah, the softs, I think, are showing signs of wear already in such a short sprint. Because Levin is absolutely flying in comparison. And we've got Racing Nomia with a move.
Battling here is right wide at the back.
That's James, Christian, Nomia and Duncan Kenny battling over 11th to 14th.
There's contact between Duncan and Christian, and James snuck through.
At the front now, Levin has indeed broken DRS to the HRT drivers. He's got 4.4 seconds to Kevin Zuckerberg. It looks like, despite all that happened, despite the safety car, despite the time penalty, Levin is going to reign supreme here. He's gapped the HRT drivers, he's gapped Kevin and Mafio, he's done what he needed to do, despite the time penalty, on the mediums of the restart. He is, yeah, secured once again a bit of a gap there that he needed. He had about 10 seconds before the safety car was called out, and he's showcasing why, and that he can do it again, pulling away from the field as we come onto the last lap of the race. And it looks like NL11, yeah, he's completely in control once more. 2 seconds towards and behind. Another time penalty to Racing Nomia. But with all the time penalties coming in, I think we are going to see Kevin and Mafia on P2 and P3. So they can still be quite happy with that. I'm sure they're going to be a bit annoyed that it wasn't enough to stay with Levin. But seeing the pace he had right now, I think that was never going to happen. A battle with Odino Tux there as he makes a move on Safasly to the outside. But I think he's going to back off out of that. There's no point really. Safasly has 12 seconds of penalties, nothing to gain by going for an all or nothing move there.
All two teams making contact with the back. Well, I think they would have done it if Christian didn't ghost.
And coming into the last few corners, that's Odinotux and Kiki battling over fourth, and a mistake by Odinotux
Oh.
allows Kiki to maybe have a run around the outside. To the inside into the second to last corner. Oh, free ride with Herman as well. Herman get involved and Kiki does pull ahead as Levin comes around the final corner to win the race here at COTA. What a drive by Levin. Wards over the line in second, but with all the time penalties coming in, we're gonna have to wait a little bit. There we go. Kevin Soderberg in second, Mafia in third, Wards in fourth, then Kiki, Odinotux, Duncan, Safasly, Racing Nomia, R7 James, Herman, Kenny, Geekin, and Christian in 14th. What a finish to the race there with all time penalties. Very, very tough to stay on top of everything that was going on. Drive of the day goes to Kevin Soderberg, and has a very, very good claim of that. Starting in 15th, finishing in second.
Then, isn't it?
But Levin also with what a drive, seriously.
Survived everything thrown at him. Multiple times it looked like, well, one time it looked like it could be in massive jeopardy, but he held on. Double podium for Evolution. I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, I think Levin today really was unbeatable. The pace advantage he had over the rest of the field is something to behold, and no one else really within a shot of staying with him. I think, given where they started, EVR should be very happy with that P2 and P3. Yeah, there once again we have the full race results. Levin, Kevin, Mafia, Waltz, Kiki, Udinux, Duncan, Severslight, Nomia, James, Herman, Kenny, Geekin, Christian, Lars, and then Hugo. Hugo and Lars DNFing, no points for them. Everybody else scoring points in this race. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching the second to last race of Season 1 in the Esports division. I had quite a lot of fun once more, at least on the commentary side. So, yeah, we've got one more race this season, the Brazilian Grand Prix next week. Oh, why have I been sent straight back into into another race?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, let's just keep going. That's another one.
Maybe you could step in for a drive, can we?
Yeah, next week the Brazilian Grand Prix is going to be a wet race as well, so that should be quite fun. The last race of the season, the battle for P2 in the championship, still raging on. I'm not going to do the maths now, that's way too complicated. Don't even start with that. Yeah, and of course, in the meantime, our Division 1, Division 2 races still ongoing. Our next race at well, Abu Dhabi on Wednesday in Division 2. 7:30 p.m. UK, and in Division 1 we are one race further ahead in the calendar. The Miami Grand Prix on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. UK. So yeah, that's all from me. Any final words from you, Phantom Fox?
It's worth noting, obviously, for the results we just had, that with the amount of collisions we had, especially in the first sort of 8-9 laps, any reports, any penalties, it could all change. I don't remember any massive contact or collisions at all from the top three, so I think they should keep the podium, but you never know, we could have missed something. And yeah, there was a lot of incidents going on in the middle part of that race, so who knows who will get what penalty, if teams can file the reports valid, that is. Yeah, so I hope we have a good final esports race next week in Brazil. Should be a bit of a classic with the weather influence and the Brazilian track. Always promoting pretty good racing, so yeah.
Yeah, so a very good point with Phantom. These results are about as provisional as they can be, like you said. So we'll see how it goes in the stewards room, what the actual results end up being. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and see you guys. Well, no, actually, I won't be there next week. I'm unavailable for the finale, but hopefully someone is there to commentate it. We'll see who we can sort out. Yeah, thank you for watching. Have a good evening, and goodbye.